Yo, Crypto Nation and mining family, I'm Nemesis, and we got my home dog here, Crypto Mikkel. Yo!
What's up, everybody?
You know something? This is something here that I can definitely verify. I could put my hands on it, look at the software, and, look at the software. Guys, check this out. Yo!
That is very true.
Yo! Yeah, definitely.
What's up, everybody?
Let's go.
How is everybody doing tonight? Welcome to Mining After Dark. Woo. It is great to see all my favorite people up in here. We got Ninja, which I have not seen you in here before, I don't think. So welcome.
Yo.
Big welcome. He had a kitty cat. Or his little emoji. He was up for seeing some nefarious.
Oh.
Yeah, Schnick's body is ready for this stream, which is a little creepy. It almost deserved an eggplant emoji.
Oh yeah, got Bitcoin Jake in his house. Jay Myers, yo! Look at one of the DCA adventure guys in his house supporting us. Yo, that's awesome.
Gotta love it. Gotta love it. What's up, everybody here? And I know there are a bunch of people that are going to be joining this stream tonight because I built up some FOMO this past week, or not the past week, the past couple of days anyway, on playing. Yeah.
Let's keep the FOMO going just a little bit.
Good.
Oh, yeah. So, here we have a Raspberry Pi 4. Now, I myself built the kernels that go on here. I didn't write the code for the kernels, but I built it, put it all together, assembled it. You know, kudos for me. I've never done that before. Bam. And I compiled the program for mining Monero onto this. So it's two things that right off the bat that I can verify. I know what chip is in here. I know what was sold to me. 100% verifiable, open source. It was sold this way to me. I bought it on purpose. This way.
Even the documentation was correct? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 100% correct. All the documentation. That's couldn't complain in the slightest bit on how this thing was put together, guys. And how it mines, that actually surprised me. The only thing that surprised me was that on the high side, and I can verify this. Oh, my God. Watch this, guys. I'll put this just below my man, Mikkel, here.
Right below me.
Just below him. And you can see it says max, and it says 114.1 hash a second. And I put a meter on this, and it registers at 5 watts, at 1 amp. I can verify this. You know something that we couldn't verify until we pulled it apart? You want to let this one go?
Jake says I like the enthusiasm. Yeah, dude. So we'll just go straight to the chase here.
Ooh.
So back when it was it's about what, 4 months ago?
Something like that. Yeah, like four months ago.
Mark is actually one of our Patreons who subscribed this past week.
Yo.
So gotta give him a big shout out. Thank you for subscribing to the Mining After Dark section of the Patreon. I would encourage everybody else to please go over there and support us to help us do more mad scientist stuff like this.
Oh God, yeah.
Link is down in the description below, as well as
now between me and this guy, we are doing some crazy stuff behind the scenes.
Yeah, these past 2 days have been very interesting. But yeah, so about 4 months ago, back when we were on DCTV and doing all that stuff, we were given this lovely box behind me. Which
the box was legit.
Legit.
Oh my God, I like the box.
Nice box. Yep. I thoroughly like the box. That's about all I like out of this project. The box belongs to a CoinMine1. They sent us over for that to review. We did the review. It was a very interesting mining experience.
Oh my God, that was interesting. Oh my God.
4 days we mined $3 a day.
Right,
$3 worth of Bitcoin a day,
which none of my 1070s, none of my 1080s, my 1660 Ti, none of them would do that in a day. hell no.
Right. You know, and so it was making like $4 a day for like 4 days, which was pretty crazy. What's up, Clyde?
Yo.
Nice to see you in here. He is one of the guys from Hash Radio. So thank you for joining us, man.
Yes.
I know a bunch of you have been waiting on this. I've been building this one up for a couple days now. But yeah, so we had received it. We did a review on it. As most of you know, DCTV is no more. The video is actually no more.
Yep.
But so I've had some issues with it. We'll kind of jump back.
Yeah,
to
let's just go to the beginning.
Happened.
Let's just go to the very beginning on this. You know,
we'll go back to why I initially even did what I did the past couple of days. I was having a lot of issues with it, connectivity wise. Like it would shut off. It was offline for like 2 days. I wasn't home. It was offline for 2 days, and I was like, why is it offline? You know, and it was offline, but I came home and the fans were full spooled. So for 2 days, it was just full on, full bore, all the wattage possible, and not doing a single thing. So
and that's a miner's worst nightmare.
It is.
It is, because it's a waste.
It is, especially if you have like multiple GPUs. Like what if that was like a 4 or 800 or even 1,000-watt rig, like offline for 2 days and just burning 1,000 watts. Like that's not something you want to see or do. Go puppy. But you don't want to see that happen, like, at all. And so I contacted them and I was like, hey, I would love to know what's wrong with this. Something is wrong with it. Yes, Red Panda, smash that like button. Thank you for coming in here.
Oh yes.
Thank you. So we just contacted them and they were like, okay, well, let's see what's kind of going on. They said, give me your username. I said, okay, I'll give you my username. And that's all they needed. And they got into the rig on the backside. They told me how long it was connected. They told me when it was offline. They could see up to about 30 days prior to usage of when it went offline, the data connected to it, whether it was on Wi-Fi, whether it was on Ethernet port. And that kind of concerned me, the fact that they could do that. So that jumped into, let's fast forward to yesterday, when I braved taking it apart. I am not the only one that's done this. Bosscoin as well did this, and
his results were a little different.
His product was a little different. I know he didn't go as far in depth as I did, that I'm aware of. I know he did it on camera. I took it apart. It looks nothing like the one that Voscoin showed. His showed like a gigabyte card, and I can verify that it is not a gigabyte card. It's not even an Intel processor.
Yeah, so we got a Palette graphics card in there, right? Or no, Yeston.
It's a Yeston graphics card.
Yeah.
Yeston graphics card. Not an Intel CPU. It's actually running a AMD A8 APU, which is actually from 2012. Let's just go ahead and start off that. That's really outdated, outdated stuff. If you're selling a new product like this, you shouldn't be using something like that. That's not.
Now, but I know that from my own testing,
yeah, me too.
that I have been able to use hardware that's 13 years old.
Correct.
And it works just fine. But the problem is you can go on, you can verify this yourself if you want, but you can go on to CoinMine1 and actually take a look and see what CPU they're supposed to be putting into there.
Yeah, it's no longer on their main page. You have to go into the FAQs and say, what hardware is it using, and it tells you it's using a 588 gigabyte or similar, is literally what it says. An Intel Celeron CPU, and 8 gigabytes of RAM. I can verify that it is a 580. It is an 8 gigabyte 580. Not a gigabyte, like the one that Voscoin had. Motherboard isn't the same either. Not at all. It actually has their own custom logo at the top. It says CoinMine, but I think 100% this is a custom mini ITX board, because the way that the things are labeled on the board are like specific to what's plugged into it.
Right.
So I think that is possible, but to me that would cost more money. So why would they do that?
And thank you, Chris Anderson.
Yeah, what's up, Chris Anderson? Thank you. Nefarious said problem is they charge $750 for that product, right? About $700, $800. They've lowered it down and a little bit. It's like 600 and something now.
Right.
But still, it's not worth it. So it has a 400 watt power supply. I went back on Toscoin's video and his says 450. So not what he had. He had a 450. This is a 400, which raises concerns because of the fact that a 580 can pull a lot of wattage. You're kind of hitting about halfway in a sense with the whole uses of the machine, if not a little bit more. I think at the wall this thing was pulling like 200 something watts, so I mean you're already halfway over the threshold of this. Okay, yeah, Chris, we'll get to that in a minute. He said don't forget we should do Patreon shoutouts because you forgot to do it yesterday. We'll do. So, yeah, 400 watt power supply, Yeson's graphics card, laptop 8 gigabytes of RAM. It's running laptop RAM,
Which that's fine.
which is okay. It's not like terrible. These APUs are generally in. Yeah, that PCO was very hot. I had it running, and with the top off, I could actually touch it, and it was extremely hot. It put off a lot of heat. It was very noisy. But these APUs, especially the A8s, you found them majority of the time in laptops. That's what APUs are generally in laptops because they got built-in graphics, so it makes it easier for them to not have a graphics card in the laptop. He says laptop motherboard then. Yeah, that's kind of what I got, what I figured. Yeah. But it's not shaped like a laptop. It's perfectly square, which you don't generally see in laptop, motherboards.
Right, because everything becomes module.
Right, that and they kind of form it to where they need to. So don't think it's a laptop motherboard. Nonetheless.
It almost acts more. I mean, in my opinion, would be like almost like a Pi setup, like a custom Pi, just on almost, a bigger, like a more on a bigger scale with more power behind it.
Right. In a sense, yeah, that's kind of what I got the gist of too. See if I can. I think I had some stuff somewhere I can show y'all. Just depends on how far I want to show this.
But yeah, and the hot glued things.
Yeah, that's okay.
Hot glue is flammable, guys.
There was hot glue on the Wi-Fi connector. There was hot glue on the SATA connector to the hard drive, which we'll get to that in a minute. Not to mention there is hot glue on what I would consider to be the top of the case, where the Wi-Fi adapter's antennas are. There's some hot glue holding some wires to the top of the case because there's nowhere for them to attach, so they just hot glued them, which I have a 100% problem with. Yeah. Hardware-wise, it's nothing like they said it would. Like they said it should be the way they advertise it. It's not anything it said it should be.
Voscoin's looked a lot better.
Yeah, his looked like a grade A machine, man.
Right.
He even had a nice motherboard that was in there, a nice micro ATX motherboard.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not mistaken, it looked like it was either a Gigabyte or an Asus motherboard that was in his. So, and I kind of chit-chatted with him a little bit about this. I messaged him immediately, and I was like, yo, this was yours like this? And he said, no, 100% not. I asked him if his had laptop RAM, and he said he wasn't certain. So we don't know. I can't verify that, but I can verify that mine has laptop RAM, and I can verify like what's in the machine, because I did plug a bootable USB Ubuntu into it, and I immediately got into the details of the machine, which is where I started raising my concerns.
Red flag. I wish I had a red flag.
Right. Yeah. It wasn't very cool, man. To say like the very least. I was a little worried whenever I dug into it, and
yeah,
like I started seeing like stuff like that, like that it wasn't what they said it was. I mean, even the graphics card didn't even like read as a graphics card. Like it read as a Microsoft. What was it? It was like a Microsoft General something.
Because
Microsoft Basic Display Adapter.
Right, because it had a real generic driver just to make
Correct.
it function.
Yeah, I coined mine when I'm all in. Absolutely not, Red Panda. I know you're kidding. But yeah, so the name of it was
and you get you get no dashboard when you're looking at this thing, so you can't see it mining. You can't verify anything on your end. They can verify everything on their end, but you, who owns this, gets nothing.
Right. Let's see if I can...
Yes, Mark, the red flag.
see if I can do that real fast. So I mean, there you go. Like, there's some data for you. Like, if anyone wants to see that, like straight up, like basic Microsoft Basic Display Driver. This right here, by the BIOS version and the device ID, is the only way you get to find out what kind of card this is, and it pulls up as a Yeston.
Yep.
Right here, as you can see, it has the AMD, but it lists it as so generic, like AMD A4, A6, A8, A10. I had to physically go into it and see that, like right here, specifications is the A8 45, 55 APU, 4 threads. This is old technology.
Right.
Like really old technology. Stuff that you shouldn't see in something that you're paying $800
No, you know what?
for.
I'm like, I'd be really surprised. I would be amazed if I were to get the that new AMD Pi, if it has the same hardware in there, just on a smaller board.
Right. I was...
Because they've got that AMD
science,
Pi,
yeah.
dude. It's like, I so want to get one just to test it out. Like, now you got my curiosity going, and I know that those Pis are expensive.
Yeah, and that's kind of, like, to be honest, that's kind of where I was going to repurpose some of this hardware. And I think that's kind of what I was going to repurpose some of this for, was to be like a mini, like the micro ATX AMD Pi, basically. It's just running the A8, which does mine Monero, so y'all know. It mines Monero at like 700 hashes, which I was kind of surprised, personally. And pulls very little wattage for that specific chip. It's like 15 watts
that's
for
like
that chip.
Better than this.
Yeah, it wasn't bad, Yeah, it's like a surprise in a box. Like, you'll never know what you're gonna get. Right. Which kind of like, okay, I'll go ahead and put this. I don't know if I can't verify this really, but I can verify that in Boss Coin's video, he said that he got 2 and he got 1 to take apart. And I kind of think that the one
either
that
he was told which one to take apart, or he was given 2 good ones. This way, it didn't matter which one he took apart.
Right.
So either he had some knowledge, or he just kind of went into it as a blind YouTuber, going, "Hey, look, this is what I was given," and I believe that Voscoin tries to be as honest as he can be.
Right. He was shocked when I told him all the stuff that I had said. That were stuff that I had seen. And, like, I sent him some of the pictures, and he was like in complete awe. He was like, "What?" Because it's not what he took apart. Like, if you're building things like this at a scale, they should be the same.
It's easy to do the same thing repetitively, not changing partway through production.
Right.
So either they're all like this, or there was a sample batch that got sent out early on.
Right. You know, but I mean, we had a sample machine that they sent us out. You know, so why wasn't ours like that?
We were given
we were given 4 days of $3 a day. That all right.
Right. Right. We saw the magic, magic mining.
Yeah. Because this machine does not mine. I'll say that. I think.
Oh God, yeah.
I'm not gonna make assumptions. We talked about that.
Right. We can't make assumptions.
But I can verify that I've dug through the hard drive, and I didn't see any miners.
And whenever I was watching him go through it, because we screen shared this, because we wanted to see if we could see anything, if we recognize the file.
4 eyes are better than 2.
Right. So
straight out.
I never saw mining program on there. I saw what looked like to be a Lightning wallet, but for a test net.
I mean, they had okay, yeah. So, upon not finding any mining software at all, which makes me believe this thing doesn't really mine unless it's mining some kind of data.
Well, rendering
software.
I mean, they could be doing both of those things. But like if you go onto like Monero Ocean onto their website, you can actually click a box and it'll start mining for you. So either they're like doing a weird like remote mining on this thing so that they can just send out bare bones, or they're doing whatever is profitable to them and then handing out a few satoshis here and there.
Yeah, it does run Arch Linux in case anybody's kind of curious.
Which
they run.
That's,
I was kind of surprised because
that's Pi
Arch,
software.
Yeah, Arch is really complex. You know, it's really basic. You know, straightforward. You know,
I've got Arch Linux 64 on the Pi.
Yeah, he says, could it be remote mining control on the other side? Yes, it could. That's very possible.
What up, nerd?
What's up, nerd? You're in for a great conversation. So it could be remote mining. That is possible. I can't verify that because I couldn't find any mining software on the entire entire hard drive. I dug through about every single folder, every single file on this 1 terabyte hard drive. Like, it took me like a whole day just to do that. And dug through everything and I couldn't find it. And then coming into a different folder, we find Lightning is the name of the folder. So I go into the Lightning folder and you have the Bitcoin D, and then you have SimNet and TestNet. So
we got a simulation and a testnet.
Simulation's empty. That folder has nothing in it. Now, granted, I was using Linux to see all this stuff, so I could see basically everything. The testnet had what looked to be a functioning Lightning node. Like, that would have been functioning if it was working to an extent.
And Nefarious, no, we did not find any management software of any sort on there.
I mean, granted, that we know they can remote into the rig because they remoted into mine.
Right.
And we're just trying to figure out why it kept shutting off on them. So it's
we didn't
possible.
see something. I mean, but in for the Pi, I have to go into the base of the Pi basically in order to allow SSH to be able to remote in, or any other way to remote into it. I've got to enable it.
I seen no
but
SSH software.
We couldn't find any of that.
Yeah, no SSH. And what confused me even more is there was some Cheroot stuff, some Pac-Man stuff, which
so we got Mahjong. And then the Cheroot, and that's basically how I had to compile for XMR on the Pi, because natively Raspbian is a 32-bit software, which does not allow you to utilize the RAM outside of 1 gigabyte, which to compile XMR you need 3 gig minimum. So I've got to make a Cheroot in order to compile everything into a 64-bit OS. So I've got 4 gigabytes of RAM. But the problem is that we didn't even see it flipping back and forth to that. It was a
No,
cheroot.
there was 32 gig files and 42 and 64.
Right.
So we did see some of those where there was two, but
There was
nothing.
kernel, but it was weird. It wasn't compiled in a way that I'm used to.
That's one of my next tests that I was going to do, was going to run a packet tracer to see if it was trying to reach out, which would be hard to do because once you can't get into the machine. Like when I boot the machine up,
You're locked out.
I'm prompted with a login and everything, and I don't have the login information. I tried for a whole day, like trying to brute force into it. I was like, all they needed was my username. So obviously my username had something to do with it, and I've tried every combination of everything. Even root, admin, like admin. Like I've been down the list of everything that I could think of, and
without being a breaker, we unless we're a code breaker, I don't think we're gonna get it.
Yeah, nerd. He says red panda because Nefarious put a fox. It's the closest thing I can get to a default icon. Red panda. that's good stuff. Wireshark. Yeah, I can try that. But anyway, so digging in here, got into the test net, which we found a folder called wallets. I was like, oh, what's this? You go in here, there's a wallet identifier. And
I'm like,
it's obviously Bitcoin. It's in a Bitcoin Lightning folder. So we try to put into.
I fired up a wallet.
Yeah,
I pulled out any remnants of a wallet.dat file that I had in there. Put this one in there, and it wouldn't load.
Nope, it refused.
It just kept on saying retrying to load rescanning configuration.
Yeah, rescanning configurations over and over. Like it would never load.
It just boot loop errored out.
Right. I mean, it was in a testnet folder, so benefit of the doubt, it was probably a testnet wallet. But you go into the actual Lightning node that they have on there, and it's not complete, like at all. Like it's missing a lot of folders. I've seen Lightning node before, and like it's missing folders.
Yeah.
It's missing the wallet too. Like there is no wallet.
There's nothing attached to it.
Right. There's nothing attached to it, and like to say there's not a wallet, I mean like. They downloaded
some of the software from GitHub, but they just gave up compiling it.
Right. Like when I say there's no wallet, I mean there's not a single wallet on this device.
Right.
At all.
So where are you mining to? There's a good question.
That's a very good question. Obviously you're mining to their wallet because you're not mining to yours. They don't give you a wallet whenever you set up a coin mine. They actually tell you to import an external address. They tell you to.
They suggest.
Not right now, dog.
They suggest.
They suggest you
Coinbase.
They suggest you do it in Coinbase. They tell you to put in an external wallet. They don't give you like a private key to a wallet. Nothing. There's no anything on that device.
Nefarious, he's asking a good question. He's like, you guys said you can't extract without gaining a threshold. That's another problem right there.
Right. You cannot exchange take coins out without their threshold. And that threshold is really high. 750k sats. So 750,000 sats.
We've been going hard on this thing for almost 5 months.
Right.
And
we're just over 300,000.
Yeah. It's going to take a whole year.
The 4 days of magic mining of $3 a day. That worries me a lot.
Because there's people that paid good money. Now, I hope that they don't do anything nefarious. Just because this could be bad for a lot of people that spent $7.99, $6.99, and it comes to payout time and the company liquidates.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that that's not what it is because Coinbase is backing them. At least according to their website.
Yeah, they have. I mean, they have backed by Coinbase. You know, so you imagine they wouldn't do anything sketchy because Coinbase probably wouldn't allow something like that.
Right.
You'd imagine. Coinbase is pretty good about sticking to some rules. They're pretty solid about that.
Right.
You know, that's.
I know there's a lot of people that want to bash them, but they do.
I don't personally care.
Here's
for them,
the law.
but,
Here's the
you know,
line, and they don't cross it.
No, they don't. They do follow it to a T, regardless if it's of anybody's interest. They don't care. They follow that rule to the T. Which, I mean, you got to do what you got to do in order to stay the number one competitor. They follow they dot every T and cross it, you know, or cross every T and dot every I in order to do what they do. You know, so it's just strange that, you know, there's no wallet, and 750k sats. Like, I want y'all to know, like, for a 8 gigabyte 580, that'll take you like almost a year.
Yeah.
Like, you won't reach a payout for a year. Like,
I mean, in my opinion, is this even worth it? No.
No, not at all. Absolutely not. Never. Not even for like a beginner miner. Like,
no,
absolutely not. Like, there's too many red flags at this point that I would never.
I would rather show somebody how to build a budget PC. Do it on LiveStream. I'll buy the parts myself and build a budget PC and show you guys a budget PC can mine beautifully.
Dude, you could literally go buy a machine and build like a budget machine for the same price you bought this garbage for. Like, not even kidding you, and mine better.
Right.
Like get real about it.
You can go to Best Buy, get a off-the-shelf computer that will mine better.
Correct. Yes, Nefarious. It only has one PCI slot, and it runs on a riser. So, a cool riser nonetheless. Though it's actually I'll give them that. It is a version. You know, it's the black and red riser. It's the good riser.
Right.
You know, it even has like the 90 on it. So I was like, that's kind of cool. But other than that, no. Yeah, Nefarious says 750. You can get a 2-card rig. Yeah, and you can mine really good. But you know, a 580, dude, you won't mine 750k sats for like a year. So I mean, there's thousands of people that have probably bought these. I'm not even kidding. I can't give you a number because I don't know a number, but I would imagine thousands of people have bought these. You know, they've been out for about a year now.
Something like that.
So
there are people who are just now.
Yes.
Just now starting to get their payouts.
Correct. You know, it's absolutely ridiculous that, like, if they bailed today, thousands of people would be like very mad.
Yep.
You know, wasting. Like, what if they were like right there at that payout threshold, finally a year, and they finally get in? Because I mean, if it takes you a year to mine that, and they've only been out a year, I don't think anybody's hit payout threshold.
No.
If they've only been out a year, and you know, and it takes you a year to pull withdrawal, like, I don't think anybody's ever withdrawn any money from them. Like in the timelines of things, you know.
Right, Crypto Clyde, exactly. I build two 1660. I build a 2-card 1660 rig for under $700 for sure.
For real. 100%. And
you can buy. Yeah, I've got
quarter of the wattage.
I might have some hardware for sale, guys.
Yeah.
Yo,
head down into our Discord.
Right, we both have some hardware for sale, guys. Yo,
yeah, I'm moving my farm over. I'm switching to FPGAs. I have a couple of GPUs that I'm going to be keeping, but the rest of my cards I'm getting out of.
And I need to, if I want to do that, I'm not made of money, so I've got to liquidate some of my farm to be able to do the same maneuver and check out some of that FPGA land that you keep ragging and raging about. You're like, FPGAs are the bomb. I'm like, okay, well.
Red Panda, exactly. He says you could buy a 5 to 7 used 570, 580s for sale with that much with the mining board. Like, yeah, I would sell you a 4-card, you know, AMD rig for $700. Like, the whole rig. Like,
right.
Motherboard, you know, CPU.
I've got an 8
PC,
I've got an 8 GPU Asus ROG RX 580 rig, whole rig, frame and everything. You guys want it? Make me an offer.
For real, like the straight.
And the ROGs are like some of the best. Half are Micron, half are Samsung.
Right. I don't know. It's just a really bad situation, like all around. So many red flags, like in the past couple of days that I have found. Digging through everything that I have, and I don't think anybody else is like fully dug in this far. To
if
be
they
honest.
have, they haven't published it.
Right. Or they bought some silence, as possible.
Nefarious. That's a bit of an insult there.
Nerd says 200. A bidding war on LiveStream.
Right. It needs to go up.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That's...
Nerd,
so
we know you're not
wrong.
joking. You're always looking for the deal of a century.
Always. I can't say this enough. I don't condone anybody buying these. Like, spread the word if you want to. Like,
Right.
I don't condone it. For the sake of the people that are here from Hashrate, I actually plugged a USB flash drive loaded with Hashrate, Hashrate OS on the machine, and I booted it. Like I straight booted it, and I even named the rig CoinMine, which I laughed about it as I did it. I was like, this is so funny.
That's awesome.
Like straight up had it booted, and everything, which was really funny. The card hash is subpar, I would think, to a 588 gigabyte. That's not BIOS modded. For sure can't be, because it has such a lower hash rate and everything. Clyde says epic. I knew you'd get the kick out of that. So yeah, I straight out plugged a different OS into it and was mining on it for a little bit, just to kind of see. I was like, I wonder what it would do. I wonder if it would even support mining another mine. I wonder if it would support actually mining. And it did. Fairly more efficient than I thought than it probably was to begin with. Like Bears is saying, they averaged on their website. They say that you get 28 mega hashes, 28 to 30 mega hashes is what they say that you get on Ethereum mining.
Right, which that's a conservative underclock on what I would consider an unBIOS modded card.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was mining at 25 mega hashes, 25 and some change, pulling like 110 watts because it's
definitely not BIOS modded.
Not BIOS modded. I'm still trying to learn Hashrate OS, so I was having to kind of play with their software a little bit because I'm used to Hive, and it really wasn't that different, to be honest. I thoroughly liked it. It was really easy. Like, it was real straightforward. I think I got that rig running faster than I've gotten a Hive rig running before. It was pretty quick, but 25 out of, and that was with an overclock too. Like I even put an overclock on it, and it was pushing like 26 max. Very inefficient.
Yeah, that's how one of my Azuses were until I BIOS modded it. And once I BIOS modded it, it put the timings proper on the card like it's supposed to be, and it was like, oh.
I have 570s, and it's been the same way. They get way better hash rate. A good 3 to 4 mega hash in some case, like bonus. While taking away some wattage. So it's a win. So. Yeah, I'm not really sure, and what I did do another test. I did actually plug the hard drive into a different rig. On my big mining rig, it was having issues. like it wouldn't, like it's seen the hard drive and it was there, but it just wouldn't boot. It was like boot not read, no bootable device found. Press enter, and it just keeps going. But when I, like on the rig behind me, or the test bench behind me here, which I run Linux on anyway, I was able to plug the hard drive in, and it actually worked. It booted up CoinMine, saw it on the screen and everything. It booted it up, checked the application, and it even was mining. Like, I let it sit there for a little bit, and it was mining. Like, I was gaining Satoshis with the 570 behind me. I was like, that's really funny. That it plugged into a different machine and was mining. I swapped the card out inside the coin mine, and it worked.
Yes, Nefarious. Boot sector ID locked in the drive.
Right. I tried to put an NVIDIA card in here. It would not work. Granted, when I went through the hard drive, I found AMD drivers, so it was kind of obvious of why the NVIDIA didn't work. I could plug in a different.
It's like, I wish I had the hard drive. I wish I had the hard drive here, because then I could sit there and see how it would look at an 8-card rig.
Right. Which leads me into possibly why it wasn't booting right, is because I put it on an NVIDIA rig. But it still should have at least tried to boot, and it didn't. I did plug a different AMD card into here, and it worked. So, tests have been done, and like things have been changed around, and it still worked. I'm not really sure. It's just CoinMine team's gonna see those hashes coming through and try to figure out what's going on. Why is this guy's CoinMine hashing so hard? Yeah, clone. Yes, nerd. I am in the process of doing that. Cloning the drive right now as we speak.
Right. So if I can get my hands
just
on,
to have a backup in case I do anything that messes it up.
Right, and if I can get my hands on that and rip it onto a hard drive, I can sit there and plug it in, and
you'll need a big hard drive.
That's fine. I have a terabyte.
Crypto all night. How much did you miss? We started 40 minutes ago, man. We've talked about it a lot.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I know you were dying to see this. I know you were watching the games that we're playing tonight. But yeah, we went through basically everything. And you're gonna need a big hard drive. They come stock with a terabyte.
I probably got a terabyte laying around somewhere. I think it's not
terabyte.
It's not mine. It's my wife's kid. But I know he's got a few hard drives.
Testing purposes.
Yep, for testing. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I want to sit there and see how it looks at an 8-card rig. I really do.
Yeah. Yeah. It's been a trip the past couple of days. That's for sure.
Because if I can get an 8-card rig rolling on there, we'll get a payout real quick and be able to actually just 86 everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that was my next test, was to try and plug it in my AMD rig to see if it would have any luck. But I've been busy today, so I didn't have much time to do it. So that is like my next test, actually, is to plug into my AMD rig and see if my AMD rig works. NVIDIA rig didn't, they don't run the same motherboards or the same processors, so it's possible that it could work. I've booted Linux on the AMD rig before, so I would imagine it would work.
Right, and I have an AMD motherboard, I have an Intel motherboard that I can test both out on to see if that has any issues also. Yeah,
Nefarious, he says you clone it and it shows up with 5 rigs and 20 cards, you get your payout, and they spaz the F out.
As we deuce out, burst. They got our payout.
No, They have not. There is no miner config inside the hard drive.
Nothing.
Yeah, like
We've been
literally
through every file.
every file. And
There's no breath of a miner anywhere in the software at all.
no, I couldn't find anything, nerd. Which is one of my red flags of the many. This is like, 3 strikes you're out. Well, it's like 10 strikes, and you should have been out a long time ago.
Right. We're at the Special Olympics, and we just want to see them hit it once.
Right. Yeah. Yes, Chris Anderson. I guess we could do that for you, real fast, buddy. It's a good conversation you're having.
Right.
He says, "Wait a minute. The miner doesn't actually mine." I don't think so. In my personal opinion, it mines. It does something.
Right.
I don't know what it does. It does something, but it does not mine.
Right.
There was no mining software on
if it's mining, it's doing it remoting into a website, and then the website from a website, it's taking control.
Correct. They could be remote mining of some sort.
Or it's like folding at home or something, if you guys remember that stuff.
Yeah. Nefarious made a very good point. He goes, yeah, it's like a big Electronia mining simulator for DTC.
Right, you get that mining experience.
Yeah, that too. Crypto Nice is like cloud mining.
Yeah,
possible.
possible.
I mean, whenever they were, even themselves, while you're waiting for your coin mine, like if you order one or you pre-ordered one or whatever it was, you get one. They offer you a cloud mining service while you're waiting for your coin mine to come in. So they're already in the cloud mining space, obviously. If they can offer that, they're already doing something like that. So it wouldn't surprise me that this machine does the same thing. And kind of like what me and Nim were talking about yesterday, clever way to grow a mining operation.
Right.
Not hold any of the hardware at all.
Don't have to have a infrastructure, no building, nothing like that, and you don't even have to worry about electric. And you can sit there and this is where my theory is. It's like, okay, I don't think it's just mining per se.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just a data. It's like they're growing a data farm. What they're particularly doing on their end, who knows? They could be mining. They could be doing
I can't verify that.
AI computing, something along those lines. Anything that a client on their end would be paying for, and they're doing that at profit, of course. And are they partnered up?
Profit day one.
Right. Are they sitting there partnered up with Coinbase because they're doing their payment structure through them? I mean, these are just like little ideas that have been bouncing in my noggin. So
various, I'm not sure. He says, "Is there any data mining software on there?"
No,
not that I could see.
Unless they relabeled
unless
it to
they
something.
hid that one with something different. There was a lot of things that I was questioning going through the files that I have no idea what they were. A lot of them had some crazy GitHub files, and I anytime I saw a GitHub file, I went and looked for it because it's GitHub.
Open source for the win.
Open source for the win. If you put it on GitHub, it's out there, and you can figure out what it's for. And a lot of the stuff had nothing to do with it. Like, had nothing to do with mining whatsoever.
Right. It was like it was like just like custom, like either syntaxes or header
a lot of servers.
Yeah, a lot of server
There was a lot
stuff.
of servers. There were servers for every single country.
And that
Germany
alone tells
and
me
US were the biggest.
Right, and that's telling me that it's part of a data system, not a mining system. I mean, was that like some weird offshoot of AWS?
Right.
Some really funky like outreach into the blockchain world. Hey, can we get these people to run it for us?
Well, Bearman, thank you for being here, buddy. He's actually a guy from one of the people from Hash Rate OS.
Oh, nice.
I really do enjoy y'all's podcast.
Excellent, thank you.
I do want to go ahead and put that out there. Y'all do a great job. And yes, I did run it. I did run it on there briefly. It's not on there right now. I was doing like so much testing. That was actually at the last of my testing, but I just figured I would go ahead and do it just for y'all. I was like, I'm just going to go ahead and do this now, but I have some other stuff that I want to do with it. So currently it's not doing anything. It's just sitting here. The hard drive is actually plugged into the other machine, and just going through the rest of the stuff and clones and stuff. So doing other stuff on it right now. But yes, I did do it, and it worked. It worked right off the bat. So yeah. Clyde, he says, did you find any Alexa files? No, I did not. I searched very hard for that one, because that would really worry me if I found some kind of like Alexa files inside of it. Like it's
right.
Like he says, conversation data mining. Like it's listening to what you're doing and
God knows what it is.
Data,
right, mining you.
Yeah, and that's like that would really not be cool. At all.
Right.
Let's see. He says, need to sniff the network more to figure out. Yeah. He says, what are their customers being told, though? I'm going to tell you that the person that I talked to didn't know jack squat about anything. They didn't even understand that whether or not how good of a service it, or how good of a signal it was. They were saying that it needs 5G service, and I was like, 5G? Like, my router don't even have no 5G. Like, what are you talking about?
Right, that stuff's banned here in the U.S., man.
No, it's not. 5G's not. I have 5G in Oklahoma.
Oh. Or no, here. It's what the heck's that company that I forget the name of the company that's banned with their 5G.
I don't know. Let's see. So Jake working on Satoshi Quest while I'm listening. He says, yeah, awesome. Getting Nether and the End working. That's awesome. That's good to hear.
Awesome.
It's always fun because the Nether and End are like my favorite places to play at in Minecraft. So he said, Nefarious, it sounds like a cloud mining device being ran in people's homes, as you already suggested. Very possible. That's probably. Oh,
that's it, Nefarious. Thank you, Huawei.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like Huawei is banned.
Yeah, I couldn't remember that. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. He says, perfect. Love your work. Appreciate it, Wellbear Man. Really appreciate it.
Yes.
There will be more stuff coming with this.
We both want to test.
I'm trying to put a video together, but I'm trying to comb through so much stuff. A lot of the stuff probably won't make it onto the video, just to cover my own ass, to be personally honest. But yeah, if anybody has any questions, I'll answer them. If they are a little personal, just shoot me a DM. I'll gladly answer any question anybody has about this thing.
For what we have found. So it's stuff that we can 100% verify.
Correct. I don't lie. I won't. If I don't trust it, which I didn't trust this machine, and I verified what was in it, and we
verified that we still don't trust it.
I verified that I trusted way less, even more so. The fact that it's no mining software on it, no wallet on it, were huge concerns.
No Lightning node built already.
No functioning Lightning node. There were files for the Lightning node, but it was not functioning.
Right. Nothing compiled. I bet you I will get it working on the Pi faster than they'll get their node working. Oh.
Well, I really appreciate it. Have fun at the wedding there, buddy. He said he was at a wedding. He had to step outside for this. So
Thank you.
Your time on this. Not a problem, man.
Thank you.
I'll talk to you about it a little bit later. And like I said, if anybody has any questions, feel free to DM me or whatever, and I'll answer them. Because that's what we're here for. We're basically crypto mining news reporters. backup plan. That's what we do. So I don't want to give bad information to people, especially when something like this could potentially like hurt somebody, like straightforward. Like this thing is like a hazard in itself to even be running in a house.
Right. I mean, considering we got hot components.
Yep,
and in graphics cards are, that doesn't always happen, but every once in a while it does happen where you do have an electrical failure. And sometimes when a graphics card under full load is mining away and something shorts out inside of it, it sends sparks sometimes. And you got hot glue in there. Come on.
Yeah, I don't know. And the fact that whenever I plugged this hard drive into the test bench back here, and it booted it, dude, I mean immediately, dude, it CPU fan, GPU fan, full tilt immediately. Like the moment that it started up, dude, they were full tilt, and I was like, whoa.
Because it's mining on everything.
Yeah, dude, it was something. I was like, whoa! Yeah, like every single thing on the board, full tilt. And I was like, that's kind of freaky. And like, what was worrying is like I couldn't find any configurations like in there. I use Linux, so I use AMD GPU Pro fans in order to get my fans up to the right speed that I want them at. And there was no kind of software for that, no configurations for that to spool your fans all the way up. So they had to have been underneath some kind of load, I would imagine, for them to do that, because they should. When something's underneath the load, they should spool up to take care of the heat problem. But upon everything spooling up, granted I have a higher watt power supply, but a 580 can run like 120 watts, if I'm not mistaken, right? 120 watts for a 580. Stock 580, not even BIOS.
Yeah, like 120. Yeah.
So you got 120 watts there. You have probably at least 20 or so watts on the CPU. At the wall, it was pulling well over 200 watts. It was pulling like 267, something like that.
Because you had all your fans at full tilt,
right? And
the CPU was under full load, and depending on what CPU you have in there, you could be talking between 60 to 90 watts.
Right. These the A8 APUs were rated for around 15 to 20 watts, is where they were kind of rated for. That's under general load, so I can imagine they probably do a little bit. Yeah, so he said there's 20 watts from the riser. Yep, 20 watts from the riser. So at 200 and like, let's call it 200 and we got 400 times that by 0.8 for 80%. It's 320 watts, and we're pulling easily probably 270 easily. I mean, dude, that's 50 watts before you're at 80% maximum, like where you should be. Oh yeah, that's true. He said 1 terabyte hard drive. It's an SSD. It is an SSD, so that is better than the regular, but still, that's extra wattage. So we're pulling 270, easy from the wall. 80% of a 400 watt power supply is 320. That gives you 50 watts, like literally 50 watts of play, like before you're 80%ing.
Yeah,
that's not okay.
Yep.
At all. Like, and underneath any general, I mean, I get it. Like, they're
that
building
power,
a form factor PC,
and that
power small power supply.
The power supply just is scary. It breaks my rule.
Right.
Completely breaks my rule, because as soon as you go above 80%, you got yourself a beautiful toaster. It's amazing. And that just pumps in more heat that you've now got to dissipate. So the better you can be, especially on a power supply, or right around that 65% usage, that's where I would say 95% or so of your power supplies out there will be in their most efficiency mode.
Right. Correct. Bitcoin Jake said that's why it costs so much, is the 1 terabyte. He goes, SSD seems unnecessary for that device. Well, they are supposed to have a Bitcoin, or the Lightning Network on it. You're supposed to have Lightning Network, not Lightning applications. So the 1 terabyte hard drive is obviously needable for something like that, because
you gotta store the blockchain.
Bitcoin's chain takes a lot, and so that is kind of a necessity in that situation. But it's not using it. They're not using a full node. They're full node yet. They're not using the Lightning Network. Nothing. None of it works. So it is a waste at the time because it doesn't work. But yes. Various is when the temps go up, percentage of the actual cap wattage. Yeah. He goes lessons. He says if you're at thermal thresholds, you're looking at 65 to 75%, depending where it's at. Yeah. 100%. It's dangerous. I don't recommend these things to anybody. And I would feel bad to tell people that have them to turn them off, because you're never going to reach your ROI, but you're never going to reach it anyway. ROI on this thing is 4 years, and 3 to 4 years for ROI, running at what irked me, which this was a article from Claude. He personally wrote this article. I'll share it with y'all. So that's for Medium, medium.com.
I don't see nothing.
I just posted it.
You're posting it.
Yeah,
there
I was posting it. Yeah, I wasn't opening it. I could, but I just posted it. In there, and even if you go onto their website, they mention this, putting these in your office or in your dorm room or at your parents' house. I'm literally not kidding. That's literally what it says. So
I'd be afraid to walk away from this thing.
They're condoning you to basically steal power. If they're telling you need to go to it's good for your office, good for a dorm, good for your parents' house. It says, that's stealing electricity. And even at the 0% cost of electricity, your ROI is over 3 years.
Right.
That's not cool at all. And they do actually say that it pulls 160 watts, which we know it doesn't. It pulls 270. It's just going off the facts that were stated off this article that Claude generously wrote up. So this is based on the hash rate of 30.3 megahashes and a power consumption of 165 watts. And it's not, definitely not. It definitely pulls 270 watts. I can prove that. Obviously they have two different builds. There's more than one version of this. It has to be, because mine looks nothing like Voscoin's. Mine's definitely not as pretty as Voscoin's. That's for sure. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's just such a sketchy project in all reality. It sounds like, yeah. Basically, he says it sounds like they're measuring only mining and measuring the 580 only. Yeah. Yeah, basically. They're not adding in everything else that takes wattage, like the three small fans that are right here, the fan on the CPU, the riser, the 1 terabyte hard drive, the Wi-Fi adapter that takes wattage. Yeah, so sketchy, so wrong. No one buy one of these things ever in your life.
Right.
Ever. And yeah, that's kind of all I really have to say about it. It's real bad. You don't get a cool sticker at all. Like if you had cool stickers, I would take them from you.
Right. Yeah. Do I have? Hold on here. Oh, I got shots fired. There we go.
Good.
I'm like, I knew I had
says the
something.
Wi-Fi adapter pulls 15 watts. Yeah, so it's a lot. It's a lot for a Wi-Fi adapter. And even if you're not using the Wi-Fi adapter, it's still plugged in, so you're still going to use it.
Right.
Like, it's still active.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just going to pull this up once. Because I got to make sure I do this for Chris. Got you, Chris. So, we have had people joining the Patreon, and we really appreciate it. So I got to give some shout outs to those who have subscribed to the shout outs. And
we got Gundy. Yo.
Yeah, Gundy.
Oh.
I'm trying to pull it up right
We
now.
got Hexadex. Yo. We also have Rianne. Ooh. And then Mark.
Mark gets his own special shout out, right there, because he did join.
He's part of the mining crew. He gets the behind the scenes knowledge that I've put in there. Ooh.
Correct.
Ooh.
And he's already utilized it, apparently. He's already got his Hive up and running and mining with your stuff, so.
Yes!
Congratulations to both of you.
You know, that was something that I'm actually really proud over, is how thorough I went through making sure that I built it, and then I went and speed built this thing, and if I can speed build it, I know anybody else can do it.
He said it's been great so far. Glad you liked it. There'll be more stuff like the pictures of the internals of this will actually be in the Patreon.
Patreon exclusive!
Yeah, that'll be in there as well. Big shout out to Nefarious for he is also a pledger as well as Niowed. He joined in for that awesome giveaway last week that a lot of people, it turned out pretty well.
Right. It was great. Nice little
Very great.
Festive giveaway. Yo.
It was very. Let's see what else we got. I think that's all we got.
I think so. I think.
Yep, that'll be it.
Oh, that is awesome, Mark. Oh, that's so cool. So he's like, I just ordered 2 more pies for my son to make. So that is amazing. Yes, teach them young. That's what the pie was really made for. It wasn't some replacement of your computer in any way, shape, or form. It was a way for you to learn how to mess with everything, build software, code, all that great stuff. And then people started realizing that the ARM processor was, for its small little form factor and for the low wattage, they were powerful. So, but what I'm able to read off of it, the Pi 4 will be, I think, end of life for Pi. Because they were trying to be, open source and affordable. So to go further with this would start pushing them into the $150, $200 range, and I know that's something that they're trying to stay away from. But they weren't supposed to make the Pi 4 also, so just keep that in mind.
You are correct.
I've been doing research on this Pi. I actually kind of like it.
So it'd be kind of interesting to see kind of like what I can get this thing to become.
Yeah.
You know, from at least repurpose it from what it is to something that can be usable for other things.
Right.
Than trash.
I mean,
you can't throw the motherboard in trash. It actually has a trash emblem and has a big X through it, so you can't throw it in the trash, which means there's chemicals in it.
Yep.
So
that means you shouldn't lick the board either. For anybody who wants to do a taste test, don't do it.
Don't do it.
It might be toxic. It might be nasty.
You could probably sniff it.
I don't know about sniffing it. You know, they got hot glue and some weird, funky chemicals, man. Man, you put that in which room? Whoever was in that room, if they get cancer, we know why.
We know why. Dang, coin mine.
We got coin mine cancer. Not proven.
Not proven. Definitely not proven. That's for sure. So, if anybody has any other questions, please feel free to ask.
Right.
Wow. Mark says that he loves the crypto scene. He's 11. That's really great. Great that someone that young is interested in the space, because they'll need to be. That's for sure.
Nice. Yeah.
That's funny, Nefarious. You too funny. Too funny.
Yep.
Waiting for they gave me all the 30 seconds.
Right.
Oh, okay. That's a good question. What's your favorite coin at the moment? So, that's really hard to say. Especially right now. My favorite coin was Ethereum Classic to mine, but I read an article today that I'm really not happy with. With them integrating on Ethereum's next hard fork on the 15th of January. Ethereum Classic will actually be fully integratable onto Ethereum, and the ETC Labs is rebranding itself, but they're changing the name, but they don't want to be confused with ETC Labs anymore. So I'm kind of curious if they're about to fork. So gonna really interested to see what that's gonna happen. Second, I guess mineable coin would be Beam. That's pretty good up there. Raven's a good one too.
Yep, I've been up on that Beam, Raven.
It's kind of the go-tos in the GPU world.
Some Grin, especially if you got a 1080 Ti. You know, they're pretty baller.
8 gigabytes is all you need now.
Right.
You can mine it on 1070.
Right, because they got the 4 gigabyte solver
8 gigabyte solver.
Oh, it is a full 8 gigabyte?
Yeah, it's 8 gigabyte solver.
Oh, nice.
So that way you can run 8 gigabyte cards.
Nice.
Because it was supposed to be 11, right?
Right, 11 gigabytes.
Yeah, 11. 11 was what it was at the beginning. But yes, Nefarious and Gundy, smash those like buttons, guys. Smash them.
Oh, yeah.
Hit the subscribe button.
Mash them
Hit
away.
that bell notification so you know the next time we go live. We do live streams every Friday and Saturday night.
And anybody that might be mining curious, certainly send them our way, guys. That always helps us grow our knowledge out to all of you guys. And if you want to check out the Patreon, support your favorite YouTuber. I mean, because we don't run any ads on here, because that's not worth it. It's really not. And it puts a whole new set of rule structures on you that it's not worth it. If you want to support us, please certainly hop into the Discord, into the Patreon. Support us there. Otherwise, we got our Discord links down below. Certainly hop in there. Discords. You can sit there and continue any given conversation with any one of us as long as we are available. We do have lives outside of the boob tube, so we try to make ourselves available to you guys as much as we can.
Correct. So, without further ado, guys, love y'all. Keep on mining, and we'll see y'all next time.
Yo! Peace!